Das Spiel Kanal.
Another gaming channel with no budget for animation or even catchy tunes.
Vehicles. So here we have a German Pak 40, which is a heavy anti-tank fixed emplacement gun, a Puma, a Yankee Hellcat, and a Sherman. So the first order goes to the Germans, and the Pak 40 has clear line of sight to the Sherman, and with a 72-inch range, it is also at nominal distance. So it's hitting on 3, it gets the hit. It has a penetration of 6 up, so it needs a 3 to wound. It rolls a 6, so the 6 plus the penetration gives it a total of 12. Ouch. Now it goes on to the vehicle damage chart. So if you damage a vehicle and you equal its armour, you roll a d6 on the damage chart and you deduct 3 from the result, and then you carry out what it says. If you get 1 or 2 above the armour, you just do a straight d6 on the chart. And if you get a 3 up over the armour, it's considered massive damage, and you roll 2d6 and you go through both the results. Obviously one of them might just destroy it and then the second one's superfluous, but whatever. This Sherman is Shermanated. Okay, now we have the Puma advancing. It's a wheeled vehicle, so it has a 12-inch move, and it's on a road. Wheeled vehicle on a road can double its movement, so it's an easy reach. The Puma advances and it fires at the Hellcat. Does the damage, gets 2d6 because it's massive damage, but fortunately both rolls were quite low. The first roll only gave it extra pins, and the second one immobilised it, but it wasn't looking to go anywhere anyway. But the Hellcat's still in play. Side note, if you damage a vehicle that has a turret, but it isn't destroyed, you roll a d6. On a 4 up, the turret is jammed in its current position. Cue ensuing hilarity. So that Hellcat is pinned to hell. So we'll be trying to rally. So it'll be using a rally order, and that allows the removal of pins. You still have to do a pin check, but if you pass, you can then remove d6 plus 1 pins. And if you pass with Snake Eyes, you can remove d6 plus 1 and d6 plus 1 again, which is nice. Or a waste, who knows. And as said before, if you foul, you go down, making you harder to hit. Although you can't do that with vehicles, which aren't artillery. Also, you can order down if you want. So maybe you've got a short range unit that you want to stay harder to hit until the enemy's closer, like a flamethrower squad or something that only has sort of a 6 or 12-inch range. I think flamethrowers only have 6 range. Next. Infantry messing up vehicles. Picture the scene. You have a British Piat team, which is an anti-tank team, in ambush outside of line of sight, so they're hiding behind this building. The ambush order is like an Overwatch. Your unit sits and waits for the opportune moment to fire. Now the tank can't see them, so it has to advance to shoot. After it moves, but before shooting, the Piat interrupts to take their shot. So they change their order to fire and they take the shot. Even with the wall, they can see most of the tank. They're hitting on 3s. They rolled a wound of 5. The Piat has a 5-up pen. So the wound roll total is 10. Kaboom! D6 on the damage chart. Winner winner, chicken dinner. Now if that squad had been in the building against the tank, it doesn't go as well. High explosive rounds at a squad in a building. These weapons ignore cover provided by the building and can even destroy the building if they're strong enough. Needless to say, our Piat team were wiped out here. Inspired by Saving Private Ryan, have you got your socks? If the vehicle was advanced that round, you can still assault it, but it's -1 on your hit/wound roll. If it ran, you can't assault it, you crazy fool. It's moving too fast. So you want to be attacking it before it's moved. First off, does your squad have anti-tank weapons? Usually this will be something like anti-tank grenades or anti-tank rifles. If they do, then it means that they'll have the Tank Hunter special rule. So go, 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 attack that vehicle. If they don't have that, then they have to pass a morale check, which is also -3. So 2d6 -3. Gosh. So it turns out it's harder to convince people to charge a tank than you thought. So if they do have the Tank Hunter, well, hot damn, let's go champ. You don't have to worry about that morale check. So you run in and you roll for each unit. The number of wounds that you're rolling, these are your penetration. So against this regular vehicle, you want to be rolling 4-ups. Then you take that pen score and you roll a d6 and you add that to it. And then that's what you work out against the armour of the vehicle and roll on the damage chart as per usual. If your squad didn't have Tank Hunter, so it passed this morale check anyway and still went in and assaulted, so well done to you, the best you can do is superficial damage. Even if you roll a pen and a hit that's higher than superficial, it's just discounted, it's just ignored, it just goes to superficial. Vehicles don't get a reaction attack in assault. After the assault is finished, you consolidate as per usual, regardless of if you destroyed the vehicle or not. Finally, artillery and aircraft shenanigans. Forward artillery and air observers can call in an artillery or smoke barrage. Well, obviously, air observers call in an airstrike instead. So the artillery observer, they have to use a fire action, and they can obviously only call in the barrage in an area they can see. So they'll pick a spot on the map. It could be where a unit is, it could just be anywhere. Here you can see on this purple dice I've picked it just behind this unit because I'm hoping to hit other units that are nearby. You leave that mark there for the rest of the turn. What happens is when the next round starts, so after all the order dice have been collected up again and put in the bag, you roll on the artillery barrage chart to see what will happen. So there's a chance nothing will happen at all, just didn't work out. There's a chance that it's delayed and you have to roll again at the end of the turn, so that kind of gives your opponent an opportunity to move away. Or if you're lucky, then the barrage hits. So with the barrage, if it hits 4 or 5 or 6, you roll a d6 plus 6, and that's going to be the range of the barrage. So from this center point, I've only rolled a 1, so that's 7 inches, but it manages to hit all 3 of these units around. And then you pick each unit and you roll a d6, and that will tell you what the result is of the barrage on that. So on that result roll, on a 1 to 5, it's just d3 more pins on that squad. But if you roll a 6, it's devastating, really. They get hit by a 4-inch heavy explosive barrage, which has a 4-up penetration. So you could take out a whole squad with this. And because it's 4 inches, potentially you could get it where even a squad that you didn't get previously and they just got pins, you can overlap and hit them maybe, assuming that their squads are close together. If they're not, then just focus on taking out as many as you can. So you roll a wound roll for everyone who's underneath the 4-inch template, or just measure out 4 inches. And like normal wound rolls, it's whatever plus the 4 penetration, straight off to killing people. And 6s, again, with the wound roll, you can roll again and then you'll get to pick the models. What your opponent can do is they can order that unit to go down. What that means is they take an order dice out of the bag and they put a down order on that squad, and it means you only get half as many hits, but it also means that squad can't do anything in the next round. So sometimes it's worth doing and sometimes not. If you wipe out half the squad, they have to take a morale check, so there's a chance they could run away anyway if they fail the morale check. So with an airstrike, it has a similar sort of mechanic. The chart is almost the same. So if you get successful on the airstrike, then you put a marker 18 inches away from your target unit, and that's where the plane comes in, begins its strafing run. So if there's any flak weapons, the plane can get taken out, but assuming there's not, any unit 6 inches within where that plane comes in, they receive some pins, and then the target unit, you roll on the warplane chart to see what sort of plane it is, and that will affect what the impact is on them. So it could be just a strafing plane where it just does a few hits with a low penetration, or it could be a proper dedicated ground attack craft where it has a higher range template, high explosive shot with higher penetration, much like the barrage. I suppose one additional thing is your HQ, they can have different ranks, and that allows them to group activate other units around them, which is quite handy. So here in this instance, this German HQ, who's a first lieutenant, he can activate 2 other squads that are near him. So if he chooses to do that, you grab an extra 2 order dice for that colour out of the bag, and you carry out those 3 orders for the HQ unit and the 2 additional units before a hand goes back into the bag of fate. Well, that covers what I would cover in the first video. It's already quite a long video. Okay, hopefully this has been a good introduction to bolt action. It's quite a fun game. I think it's a game where the terrain really makes it. So you want to be playing on a good table. I played this one at Games Bunker. Jim let me record it, also helped clarify some of the rules with me. I'll put a link to the Games Bunker below because he sells plenty of bolt action stuff. So there'll be another part of this video. I'll be having a small game with Jim, about 750 points, and I'll be breaking down those rules as we progress through the game, as well as a few others. I did plan to record it in between Christmas and New Year, but unfortunately I decided to play a game of 40k instead. Actually, my first game of 40k, and I have to say, it's quite intense. I don't think I'll make much 40k content. Maybe a couple of battle reports, we'll see how it goes. But there's plenty of other games that I want to feature on the channel. That wraps up our 2021 going into 2022 videos. We've hit that 400 subscriber level now, which is great. Hopefully over the next few months it will start to go up some more. This is by no means the end of Necromunda content. Obviously, I love a bit of Necromunda. I've got more songs to come. I've still got the other house books to go over. I'm just taking a little break from the game just to focus on some other projects that have kind of got away from me. If you have any questions, leave comments. I always try to engage if I can. And thanks for watching. I look forward to hopefully entertaining you over the next 12 months. Thank you to everybody who's liked, shared, subscribed. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad I've been managing to still produce content for the video after this long. I don't know about you, but I tend to abandon projects quite quickly, and I've still got plenty of ideas of other content I want to make. Take care of yourself. Hope you had a good holidays. Peace.